A struggling single dad wakes up to an unbelievable sight. The powerful female CEO standing before him in his shirt, turning his ordinary life upside down in a single moment. For years, his mornings had followed the same exhausting routine, rushing to prepare his child for school, worrying about unpaid bills, and bracing himself for another day of quiet survival. But this morning feels unreal, like a scene pulled from someone else's life. Confusion grips him as he sits up, his heart pounding. The woman before him is not just any stranger. She's a feared and admired CEO, known for her authority, intelligence, and unshakable presence in the business world. Seeing her in his small, modest apartment wearing his shirt completely shatters the boundary between their two worlds. As he struggles to understand how fate led her here, she speaks calmly, but her words carry weight. She reveals that she has been watching him, not as a powerful executive looking down on a struggling man, but as a woman who has quietly noticed his integrity, his sacrifices, and the way he puts his child above everything else. What he thought was just another act of kindness has left a lasting impression on someone who rarely trusts anyone. Her confession leaves him frozen. For the first time in years, someone sees him not as a failure, not as a burden, but as a man of value. This unexpected encounter forces both of them to confront truths they've long buried: his self-doubt and her loneliness behind success. What begins as a shocking morning turns into a life-altering moment, proving that destiny doesn't care about status or power. Sometimes it arrives quietly, in the most unexpected form, and changes everything forever. What she says next isn't anger or accusation, but a revelation so unexpected that it leaves him completely frozen, forcing him to confront a truth he never imagined. He braces himself for judgment, expecting questions, blame, or consequences. Instead, her voice is calm, steady, and painfully honest. She tells him that the night before wasn't an accident. It was a choice made after months of silent observation. She admits she has seen him at his weakest, choosing his child's needs over his own, working late shifts without complaint, and carrying the weight of failure without ever asking for help. In a world where everyone wants something from her, his selflessness stood out. Then comes the truth that shatters his defenses. She confesses that behind her success and authority lies a deep loneliness, hidden beneath boardroom victories and polished smiles. Power protected her from betrayal, but it also isolated her. Watching him love without conditions made her realize what she had lost in her pursuit of control. His breath catches as she says the words he never expected to hear. She trusts him, not because of his status, wealth, or ambition, but because of his character. That single sentence strikes deeper than any accusation ever could. In that moment, he is forced to confront a truth he has avoided for years. He is not broken. His sacrifices were not invisible. His quiet strength mattered to someone who had everything, yet felt empty inside. Silence fills the room, heavy, but meaningful. The balance of power shifts, not in titles or money, but in vulnerability. What began as shock transforms into a crossroads, where one revelation has the power to redefine both of their lives forever. This chance encounter becomes a turning point, blurring the lines between power and vulnerability, and proving that one morning can rewrite a man's future forever. Until now, his life had been shaped by limitations: limited money, limited opportunities, and limited hope. Every decision revolved around survival. Dreams were luxuries he could no longer afford. Yet standing in front of him is a woman who represents everything he believed was out of reach. She carries power effortlessly, but in this quiet moment, that power softens. Without her boardroom walls and carefully crafted image, she is simply human, uncertain, reflective, and exposed. For the first time, neither of them is protected by status. As they talk, the distance between their worlds begins to collapse. He realizes that strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes it survives in silence. She, in turn, sees that vulnerability is not weakness, it's courage without armor. Their conversation is not about money or influence, but about trust, fear, and the choices that define a life. That single morning forces him to question the story he has been telling himself for years: that he is destined to struggle, that his past has permanently decided his future. Her belief in him plants a dangerous thought. What if he is capable of more? What if the life he accepted was never his limit but his starting point? As sunlight fills the room, something shifts inside him. The future no longer feels like a closed door. One unexpected encounter has altered his direction, reminding him that fate doesn't always arrive loudly. Sometimes it enters quietly and leaves a man forever changed.